Welcome back to 94 Feet, ladies and gentlemen. Kade Cameron, Danny Stefanovic, as usual. And of course, we did have a little bit of a break, but we're finally back. Also, Danny, I'll say this school's out, finally getting to the summer. Obviously, playoffs going on, a lot of things going on, but let's just have fun with this from this point on. I feel like it may just be me, but I feel like now being out of school, Blaze kind of tying it down a little bit. Like, I just want to have fun with this now, so let's make it happen. But Danny, how
Whoa,
you doing today?
you gonna let me say fuck now?
Hey, I'm dead. That's exactly what
I'm
we're
playing.
talking about.
I'm
No,
playing.
that's exactly what we're talking about, though. Danny, how's it going with you?
It's good, bro. Good to be back. We took a nice break. I don't know. I feel bad taking a break over playoffs, but man, with finals, you're about to graduate. Kate, congratulations. Glad to be back. I'm doing good though.
Yeah, I feel that. Yeah, that break was, I think, needed. I mean, shoot, I got a little bit of a story that we can touch on it a little later. Well, actually, we can just touch on it loud. Last week was crazy stressful for me because, like as you mentioned, I'm about to graduate, but I had this one class. It was an elective class. I needed. It was one of those like upper division electives that I needed. So I took one of the Beatles classes, the ones that just like nobody cares about. Like you just got to get it done. But I completely forgot to do like the last 5 assignments that were due all on the same day. So it brought me down to a failing grade. Thank God I was able to figure the whole situation out. It got them reopened for me. And we're set to graduate. But
Yeah,
yeah, we
you,
had
you
it.
almost sold.
I know. I was gonna say I was stressing that, but like I said, we figured it out. We're back on track, walking later this week, so excited about that. But yeah, no, it's tough doing the little break during that playoff season, but it was needed. I feel like just with everything going on. But with that being said, we're talking about second round action today, and we've had a lot of second round action today. I mean, we're talking about a lot of series I don't think a lot of people were expecting. They've turned out to be pretty good so far. Danny, so far from what you've seen, I don't know how much playoff action you've seen so far. I know you're obviously with the Lakers being in, you've probably watched all their games, but I mean, what's been some of the biggest takeaways that you've seen so far?
Ooh, biggest takeaways. Hey, I got to start with the Bucks. My pick. Did we both pick the Bucks to win it all?
Yeah, I think they're so dominant during the regular season. It was hard not to pick them.
Wow. Biggest takeaway is maybe that 2020 championship might be a little fugazi. I don't know. That's just my take. Another big takeaway: Lakers are ready to run the West, and I kind of like the chances that the Heat have to come out the East. I know obviously that's not too hot of a take, but I really do think they have a chance against the Celtics, who have shown some weaknesses on defense. But we'll get into all on that later. You got any big takeaways, Kate?
Yeah, I mean, you touched on it with the Bucks. Only this, I think it's a sixth one seed to go down to an 8 seed in the first round. I mean, if you're Adam Silver, this is a perfect example of why you want the play in because of games like this. Now, granted, Miami wouldn't have needed the play in because they were going to be in this postseason anyways. I mean, they were that 8 seed anyway, so it wouldn't have mattered. But that's why that's why the play in. That's why Adam Silver wanted the play in for this exact reason. I still don't agree with it. But of course, you see Miami in the second round. They got their second round matchup against the Knicks, a team that I told you was going to be that team to advance over the Cavs. But I think the
You're
one
right.
biggest takeaway you've got to say is that nobody's safe this playoffs. I mean, we've seen it with the Kings. We were kind of expecting it against the Warriors, but they put up a great series against the Warriors going to Game 7. Obviously, the Bucks don't go down. You look at the Celtics and the Sixers our series right now. Honestly, that can be a coin flip seeing the way James Harden has been performing in the second round. If your team's in it, still they're not safe. Nobody's safe. It could go any way at this point. And yeah, I mean that's my biggest takeaway from what I've seen so far. But as we've kind of touched on a little bit, New York, Miami with a 2-1 series lead. And as you've talked about, I mean, I'll kind of let you start off on what you just mentioned about how you could see the Heat making a run here.
I mean, I did not see this out of the Heat, but the Knicks, I feel like they weren't prepared for like a veteran team like Miami because most of these Knicks guys, most of these guys were in that run where they got knocked out by the Hawks, but a lot of inexperience in the playoffs, and they were able to kind of bully ball the Cavs, who had less experience than the Knicks, and I feel like that's where the Cavs really messed up. But for the Heat, this is just a veteran team who believes in themselves somehow, even though, they lost Tyler Hero, and I counted them out. As soon as Tyler Hero went down, I was like, man, they're not going to get buckets. Jimmy Butler's eventually is going to fall off. But this #Heat culture, you got guys, Strus, Gabe Vincent, Kevin Love putting up, Kyle Lowry, you name it, all these guys putting up points. So Miami takes the series lead 2-1, and I'm sorry, kid. I think the Knicks are going to win this series still, but I said the same thing last series. I really don't got a grip on this Miami Heat team where it's like, I mean, are we just going to not double team Jimmy Butler? Who, I mean, that's really all you got to stop. Kyle Lowry hits some shots here. Strus hits some shots, but for the most part, throughout the playoffs, has been all Jimmy. And I think eventually, Tim Thibodeau, who is a defensive-minded coach who has defenders to throw out there, I think he's going to figure it out, and I think the Knicks are going to take control of the series. I know they didn't look good in Game 3, but I still got faith in the Knicks.
Yeah, I think just the way they played against the Cavs team that I think a lot of people were expecting to go out there, shoot the lights out, play offensively minded basketball. And I mean, as you mentioned, they were bullied into that 4-1 series loss. I think when it comes to the Heat, you have to talk about Jimmy Butler and his ability to just be the playmaker he has in that first series against the Bucks, and if he can continue to keep that rolling. We've seen this done with Jimmy Butler in the past. We've seen him do it in 2020. We've seen him do it back in the last year when before they got knocked out by the Celtics. I mean, this is a team that can make those deep runs, that has the experience, has the skill, and that can make it happen. But of course, that's all reliant on how Jimmy Butler does. And I think that's what it's going to come down to. He's already gotten some issues in the playoff. I think it was an ankle injury that kept him out of Game 2 at Madison Square Garden. But I think that's the biggest difference here. I think if the Knicks can slow down Jimmy Butler, actually make him really work for those shots, you can almost guarantee that if he does it in one game, you might be able to slow him down enough to where he's going to slow down for that second game, third consecutive game, and he's not putting up the same numbers. But I think that's going to be the biggest factor. Slow down Jimmy Butler. Take your focus off guys like Bam and Strus and Gabe Vincent. These guys, I mean, are pretty much just names that people are recognized. They're not even really big-time players. I mean, they're great role players, but they're not these big-time names everybody knows. And I think that's just going to be the biggest thing for the Knicks. The Knicks, I mean, we've seen it in that first series. Jalen Brunson has the potential to be one of the top stars in this playoff. Josh Hart has been showing out, a guy that I think a lot of people weren't really expecting to until they made that trade to get him right before the trade deadline. Julius Randle, Mitchell Robinson's even putting up some numbers. I think he had a comment saying that he was the best center in the league, which was a stretch by a long shot, but it's a team that seems complete based off the numbers that they've been given this current postseason. And I just think if Jimmy Butler continues to play the way he does, which I don't think is out of the question, they're going to win that series. But for the most part, I do think this is a series that the Knicks can wrap up pretty easily if they're able to put their focus on Butler.
I will say if Miami wins Game 4 tomorrow at home, I think the series is over. I don't think Jimmy Butler is going to let a 3-1 lead happen, a 3-1 blown lead happen. So do or die for the Knicks for me tomorrow. We'll see, though. And then, if the Heat win tomorrow at home, which is, very likely, I do think that the Heat can give some trouble to the Celtics. Ooh, yes, I got the Celtics taking the Sixers down, Kade. If you want to segue into that.
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm trying to find something real quick. I think maybe you know it off the top of your head, but there's a stat that came out that when it comes to point totals by players during the postseason so far, Jimmy Butler's in like a completely different category. I mean, he's in a like elite company with one stat. You segue into Celtics Sixers real quick, and let me find this real quick.
Okay. Yeah. So for Celtics Sixers, Sixers, I would say stole one behind James Harden. And can I say this after Joel Embiid wins regular season MVP? The MVP for the Sixers has been James Harden. If he's having a good game, Kate, the Sixers have won. If he's having a terrible game, which we have seen, games 2 and 3, James Harden is just completely inefficient today. 16 for 23, 42 points. He's carrying that team to a W in overtime. Marcus Smart barely got that shot off. series going back into Boston, and I think the Celtics are confident that they can take care of the series. James Harden, he has not been trustworthy in the playoffs. For as long he's been in Houston and Philly, and everyone's riding high on Harden because he had that big game 1 and that huge game 4 right now. But I just want people to remember that he's gonna disappoint. I'm sorry, and I think he's gonna do that again to close out this series. Where I don't know. I think Jaylen Brown kind of went quiet in the second half, and behind a home crowd, they're gonna have Game 5 and Game 7, the Celtics. So I expect Jaylen Brown to get more shots up, because Game 3, I think he only had 1 shot in the second half, and then earlier in this game when I was watching Game 4, it looked like Jaylen Brown kind of went to the corner, let JT do his thing. So I think with the home court advantage in Boston, I think they take care of the series. And Joel Embiid, I don't know. After that big regular season, he hasn't taken over games the way I've kind of wanted to. I know he's been dealing with some injuries as well.
Yeah, it's no surprise. I mean, at this point, especially with Joel Embiid, it's no surprise. You have him for the regular season, and by the time the postseason comes around, he's going to be sitting out games because of injuries. I mean, it's no news story. It's nothing different. It's nothing unique. This is something that we consistently see every season. And on top of that, I mean, as you mentioned, he won MVP. He had a dominant regular season. That doesn't matter right now. I mean, the last time a player won MVP and won the NBA Finals was Steph Curry back in 2015. Hasn't happened since. Just because you have the best player on the court in the regular season does not mean that you're going to have the best team on the court as well. And the Sixers team, I mean, again, we consistently drag them through the dirt. It makes sense, though. Joel Embiid, as mentioned, is going to get injured by this time of the year, without a doubt. You have James Harden, who was saying, I mean, I saw this on Twitter, but I mean, after that Game 1 win, he was trying to tell his teammates to stop celebrating because it's only one game. He was just trying to tell his teammates to stop celebrating because he knows he wasn't going to be able to perform like that on a consistent basis to get them the Sixers some wins. And this is obviously going against a Celtics team that went to the NBA Finals last year. We knew if it wasn't going to be the Bucks, it would probably be the Celtics. If when healthy, is probably one of the top teams in the league, if not the top team in the league. You can have the MVP, but it doesn't matter, where the Sixers are in a position where they might make this an interesting series, but I don't see them getting to a Game 7. I think the Celtics take the next 2. I think they kind of figure it out. Mazzulla hasn't really been impressing me when it comes to coaching the playoffs so far. I mean, we saw it with Ime Udoka last year in his first year coaching, being able to take this team to the NBA Finals. Mazzulla just isn't giving me the same confidence that Udoka had last year. Despite the fact that they were on the same coaching staff, Mazzulla went to the NBA Finals with Udoka and the Celtics last year. But that's besides the point. We're looking at this series right now. This is a team that the Celtics can very easily beat, especially because outside of James Harden putting two oddly great games together this series, Joel Embiid's going to deal with injury. He's not going to play that well. You have Paul Reed right behind him, who's not going to do anything as a center. I mean, the fact that he's getting playing time in the postseason is probably the highlight of his life right at this point. You're looking at relying on Tyrese Maxey. It's end of the day, Philadelphia's done this series. I think they've won their last game of the season, and you're going to see the Celtics take the series in 6, setting up, I think, a very interesting Knicks-Celtics Eastern Conference Finals, which I think when you put those two teams on paper for the Eastern Conference Finals, that's going to be an amazing thing to see.
One more thing on the Sixers. I mean, just their benches. You mentioned Paul Reed. He logged 6 minutes, but D'Anthony Melton, who I thought was pretty decent during the regular season, 0 for 2. Niang somehow hit 3 threes earlier today, 3 for 6. I don't know if he's going to hit 3 threes rest of the series. One more thing about Mazzulla. Kade, Pritchard has not gotten any minutes this postseason. I don't know if he's hurt or not, but this dude was a bucket getter, huge off the bench for the Celtics. I know the Sixers kind of got a tall lineup, so maybe that's why he hasn't been unleashed. But I'd like to see some Pritchard, and I don't know if I sound crazy, but can we see some Blake Griffin? I mean, I know he's washed. He didn't have a great season. I'm just going back to last playoffs. I don't know. I remember he had some big minutes, and when the Sixers go small when Embiid's off the floor, and they kind of run like that PJ Tucker as their five, like the Houston Rockets did. I don't know why we haven't seen much of Grant Williams or Blake Griffin. Grant Williams kind of been riding the bench this postseason, picking up 10 to 15 minutes where I feel like this dude should be any small ball lineup. Grant Williams is the perfect five for you guys. Well, I know Horford has been logging heavy minutes, but I don't know. I think Missoula, he's still working the lineups, and I guess I'll trust in him for now, but definitely some improvement there for me.
Yeah, I think one thing that you mentioned, I mean, Grant Williams, I feel like, I mean, you look at last postseason, he was a playmaker when it really counted. I mean, obviously he wasn't going to be one of those guys that you would go out there, put up 25 in a game and like really carry the Celtics team. But you knew when Grant Williams was out there, he's going to be able to put out some production. And I agree.
I remember one game against the Bucks, he had like 7 threes or something.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, he played good basketball last postseason. It's very capable of him doing the same thing this year. Again, maybe just the matchup with the Sixers, I don't know, but I think more Grant Williams would be a very good thing to see for this Celtics team, especially over the next 2 games. I mean, you got the next one at TD Garden in Boston. That should be an easy win for the Celtics. And obviously, you're talking about a Thursday matchup, 4:30 on ESPN for Game 6. I think that's going to be a win for the Celtics as well. As you've seen so far in this series, the Sixers would get 1, Celtics would get 2. Sixers got another one at home. And then I think, the next 2 are going to be locked up by the Celtics. It's pretty plain and simple there. Another postseason failure for the Sixers. I think this is the year that Doc is out if they don't make it past the second round. Especially with Budenholzer knocked out already in Milwaukee. I think this is going to be where you're going to start seeing the shifts around, the moves around where, like I said, Doc Rivers is out. I think Budenholzer is going to come in as the head coach of the Sixers next. And we'll see how things go from there. But I think we both have. Did you say Knicks are going to be able to come away, or you think you got Heat Celtics for your? Because I got Heat. I mean, I like Knicks Celtics on paper, but I think Heat Celtics is going to be the way it goes, especially with Game 4 still being played in Miami. Butler's not going to give up a 3-1 lead after they get the win tomorrow. That's just what I see.
Let me check who's favored tomorrow. Who do you think's favored tomorrow in Heat Knicks?
I would say the Heat, but I know the Heat also are probably going to be day-to-day with Butler.
Man, I think I'm going to go Heat as well. But if the Knicks can take Game 4, I'll go with the Knicks. But if I had a bet, Heat are favored, I'll go with the Heat in this series.
Yeah, I agree with that. I got Heat as well. I think just the way Butler's been playing, I think he can continue doing that, especially at home. So, I mean, even then, Heat Celtics as an Eastern Conference Final Series. That's going to be great. I mean, it was
Celtics
rematch of last year.
Celtics in 4.
I got 5, but rematch of last year could be a really good series in general, especially because, Jimmy Butler's going to want to be making up that 1 3-point shot he could have taken to win the series against Boston. But it's going to be exciting to see what that happens. But jumping over from the East to the West, we got your Warriors. I mean, we can talk about that Jordan Poole shot at the end of Game 1. We can talk about the dominance that the Lakers shown the past 2 games out of the 3-game series they played so far. Danny, I'll let you take it away since it's your Lakers we're talking about.
Where do you want me to start?
Wherever. I don't care. Wherever.
Well, I'll say this. I think the Warriors are showing teams that if AD plays, where I guess he's playing every other game now. He, in my opinion, I said this before the playoffs, and I'm still riding with it. I think he's more than capable of being the best player in the West. I guess you know what? Now that Giannis isn't in the playoffs, I really do think AD is the best player in the playoffs. The way he's able to, block shots. He's not you gonna say D-Book?
Oh, 100%. Look at his stats. Anthony Davis might be the most, when it comes to overall, I mean, without a question, Devin Booker's the MVP of the playoffs so far. But if you're talking about the reliability on the court, I mean, Anthony Davis is going to be an overall, just an all-around player that you're going to want to have. But I mean, if you're talking best player in the playoffs right now, Devin Booker's clearly the number 1.
okay, Devin Booker has had the best playoffs, but I think if we're just like, who is the best player? Do you know?
Oh
Do you know
yeah,
what I'm
if we're
saying?
talking about a
Okay.
healthy Anthony Davis, yeah,
Yeah,
he would
yeah,
be the
yeah.
best player. But I'm just saying right now in the playoffs, D-Book's been showing out.
Fair enough. Fair enough. D Book has had the best playoff run, but the way Anthony Davis has been able to take control of games defensively and offensively, I think he can be the best player in the playoffs, best player in the series, and biggest thing that my biggest takeaway for the Lakers is Darvin Ham has actually impressed me heading into the playoffs. I think we both were kind of sketched out with Darvin Ham because man, this dude was playing Troy Brown heavy minutes for no reason. He was Wenyen Gabriel was playing every other game. Malik Beasley was playing 30 minutes, and the next game this dude was logging 2 minutes. And Darvin Ham finally said, "You know what? The Warriors are small. Let's unleash our guard who's been with the team, who's proven himself, um, a fast guard who can play defense, hit shots. That's Lonnie Walker, who we haven't seen any of all playoffs. Lonnie Walker, I'm trying to pull up the stats right now. Off the bench, 24 minutes, 12 points, hit 2 threes, was getting at it defensively. He ended up logging more minutes than Dennis Schroeder, who's had a pretty big series. He's had some big games. So I think Darvin Ham is trusting his guys now to and kind of playing to the Warriors, because the Warriors in game 2 just ran the Lakers off the court. Austin Reeves, who had a big Memphis series, he's kind of been getting playing off the court defensively. Clay was cooking his stuff up, and now the Lakers are showing that AD can play the 5. I know he doesn't like to play the 5, but he can play. He's looked comfortable playing the 5. D'Lo, this guy, third best option, Kate, who was huge for the Lakers, the Warriors' success in that championship run. That was Andrew Wiggins, who at first was a bust, but if number 1 overall pick, I think D'Lo was 2, but maybe just because you're not like the number 1 option, you don't gotta be a bust, because Wiggins, as a third option, was great for the Warriors. D'Lo, maybe he's a bust because he went number 2, but he's huge for the Lakers. 21 points. He can stretch the floor. He's kind of a bucket getter, whereas LeBron, for some reason, he hasn't been, a bucket getter lately in the playoffs. But D'Lo has been huge as a third option, and I really think that AD, LeBron, and D'Lo are kind of giving me like that Warriors big 3 from last year, where it's like 2 set superstars and then kind of like a third wheel bust, if that makes sense. So I really like what the Lakers are looking like. Where Roy, who can also run big, he had a big game too, I believe it was, where third quarter he had like 8 straight points, something like that. I know they got blown out, but he looked really good. So I really think the Lakers take care of the Warriors team, this Warriors team in 6. So I'm really excited about this Lakers team.
See, I think when you look at the Lakers, right now on paper, the way they've been playing this postseason, I mean, they handled the Grizzlies easily. They're playing the Warriors, a team that won the NBA Finals last year, very well. You just look at this Warriors team, though, or my apologies. You look at this Lakers team, and you talk about Anthony Davis, who's been playing probably the best game, but he's consistently in, and that's the important part. LeBron's going to do what LeBron always does. As you mentioned with D'Angelo Russell, I mean, big get during this trade deadline. I think with him, and I think with the majority of this team as well, it's odd because it's like LeBron's going to be able to do something. Anthony Davis is going to be able to do something. But then outside of those two, I always feel like it's some random player on that team that really steps up and puts up big stats for a night. I mean, D'Angelo Russell did it. Austin Reeves did it. Hachimura did it at one point. I mean, you're talking about Lonnie
Dennis
Walker.
Schroeder had a game
Schroeder,
too.
exactly. I mean,
Yeah.
it's these random players that just kind of. And I mean, it makes sense out of this team because these are players that have been on other teams. I mean, Lonnie Walker was a bucket when he was in San Antonio. D'Angelo Russell, I mean, when he was in Minnesota, he was a fantastic player. You're looking at guys like, I mean, we don't have to talk about Anthony Davis. We already know about that. Hachimura, Somebody who was highly sought out of Gonzaga. I don't think panned out the way that Washington really wanted him to. Traded him to the Lakers, and now they're actually trying to get good minutes out of him. It's a team in general that, like I said, you're talking. Oh, Schroeder on top of that as well. Again, a bucket back when he was in Oklahoma City. A team that, or Oklahoma City, wherever, a team that overall just looks really good when it comes to the overall identity of just each player. It's names, but it's names that everybody's familiar with because they've shown dominance at one level or another. The one thing that makes me think this series is going to be a lot more interesting than just going 6 games is the fact that you're talking about the Golden State Warriors on the other side with Steph Curry and Draymond Green and Klay Thompson and Steve Kerr as the head coach, a team that has so much pedigree and excellence in the postseason and in these moments that they're not just going to let this go to a 6-game series. If the Warriors are going to lose, they're going to lose in 7 in a close game. Steve Kerr knows how to keep his team under composure. He knows how to make sure that this team goes out there, plays the best basketball they can, and even if they do lose one, it's not going to be a loss that they're going to see as anything big. For them, there is no can't lose a game because every game is going to be a game they know they can go out there, win, play their best basketball, and even if they don't win, they're going to be able to take away something from that and use it in the next game. So Lakers, I think this series is a coin flip just because that when it's necessary, Curry's going to go off when it's needed. Klay Thompson always has that possibility. Wiggins is slowly starting to get back into the pace that I think he needs to actually show that dominance. Draymond Green is going to continue to do what Draymond Green does, and that's get in opponents' heads and just be an absolute nuisance on the court. And then you're obviously talking about Kevon Looney coming off the bench, Kuminga coming off the bench, Gary Payton finally getting some minutes, DiVincenzo, Poole. These are all guys that we've seen put up a lot of potential over these past season, especially since that finals run last year, that it's difficult to say that the Lakers are going to get out of this in 6 games.
I just think that the Warriors, coming into the year 11-30 on the road, and I think most people kind of expected them to turn it on in the playoffs, but in that King series, games they went down 0-2, right, Kade?
For which one?
In the Warriors King series?
No, I think they did go down 0-2.
Yeah, they went down 0-2. All year long, including the playoffs, they've been like the 8th best against the spread record on the road, 11-30 on the road in the regular season. And I think the Warriors fall down 3-1, and I think that they win game 5 at home like they will. They went 33-8 in the regular season. That's third best in the West. But for some reason, this Warriors team never figured it out on the road. I know they won Game 7 against the Kings, but that took a 50-point game from Curry. And this is old news, but I really think the Kings blew that. Not letting Davion Mitchell, who was guarding Curry the entire series, him getting benched Game 7, I think was such a mistake by Mike Brown. He completely blew that series, or maybe blew a chance of them winning that. So I just don't trust this Warriors team on the road. And I think the fact that the Lakers were able to get that rest after that Memphis win, and I think AD and Bron both logged like 45 minutes in that Game 1, and the fact that the Warriors lost Game 1, I think that's when they lost the series, because I think the Lakers take care of business at home. Warriors win Game 5, and then I just don't trust this Warriors team on the road at all.
That Game 1 was massive. It flipped home court advantage to the Lakers. But the fact that the Warriors were able to go into Game 7 in Sacramento, a team that hasn't seen the playoffs in over a decade, knew the energy was going to be through the roof, because the fans knew that team was going to need everything they can to stop the Warriors, and they were still able to go into whatever they call the arena out in Sacramento, go there, get the win against a team that has played very good basketball at home, a very offensively sound team, and really shut them down. I think it says a lot about this Warriors team and their ability to step up in the big moments, especially when they have their backs against a wall. Like I said, I think this Lakers team is good. You're talking about a team with a lot of experience, a lot of talent, but you're talking about a team with the exact same, if not a little more talent on the opposite side. And that's the one thing that concerns me about this series for the Lakers, is just the talent on the other side. And you're talking about a coach that's better. You're talking about a bench that, in my opinion, has the potential to be better if they can actually step up the way they need to. And you're not somebody like Jordan Poole who's taking whatever shot he did to end game one. It's a bench that it's a team and a bench that is maybe a little smaller, but going to go out there and actually put up the numbers necessary to go win, especially in the playoffs, as we've seen over the past what are we, almost 10 years now? I think 8 years this postseason. So it's very doable for the Warrior team to bounce back from this 2-1 deficit and win. But I think, I don't know, the Lakers, the way they've been playing, the way they ended the regular season, the way they handled Memphis, I think if they get that win tomorrow, and I don't think that's necessarily a stretch to say that they do, but if they get that win tomorrow, I'm willing to say that the series is over as well. And I think the Lakers, they might push it to 7 still, but I think the Lakers will come away and win that one.
Yes, sir. I like it. Okay, now it's your turn. You got
all right. Suns Nuggets. Jokic pushing our owner Matty Ishbia. My bad. I mean, that was quite the sight. But 2-2 series. Suns playing.
I don't think I've ever seen that before.
Yeah, I mean, it was interesting. I mean, Ishbia taught well by Izzo out in Michigan State, taking the flop when Jokic gave him that little shove. But yeah, just in general, just a weird experience. I mean, that was right there. But yeah, 2-2 series. Finally, it Suns tie it up. Played the way that I think a lot of people were expecting them to play this entire postseason. But I think it's going to be tough. I mean, it's going to be tough. If you've watched any of the games in Denver on the TV, it's rocking at Ball Arena. I mean, the energy is there. But at the same time, both these teams have so much talent. Both these teams have so much experience. So both these teams, I mean, as I mentioned, I don't know if I mentioned it here. I don't know who I was talking to about it, but these are teams that realistically on paper are identical. You're talking about 2 to 3 really significant players on that team, a bench that really doesn't have a lot of consistency to it. The only difference is that the Nuggets have been playing with a lot longer together. They're going to have that chemistry. That's going to be a big difference maker in this series. So I really don't know. I think it's going to go 7 games. I think the only way it goes less than that is if the Suns figure it out in Denver on Tuesday, and they're able to find a way to get a win on the road. I think that's the only way the Suns win this series is if they win on the road in Game 5, and then they come back home in Game 6 and win it in Phoenix. That only way I can see that happening. Suns, seeing how they played in Game 7 last year, I don't think it's going to be any different. I don't think they're going to be able to go to Denver and win Game 7 in Denver. It's just not possible. On the flip side, with the Nuggets, I think they're a team that they're primed to. I mean, they came off back-to-back losses. The Suns are starting to figure out Jamal Murray and that pick and roll that he's been running with Jokic. I think the team recognizes that Jokic is not going to be stopped. I mean, we saw what happened tonight: 11 assists, 53 points. It's a ridiculous stat by itself, but Jokic is going to continue to do that. He's going to steamroll as much as he can. He's going to get his teammates involved. But I think the Suns have now recognized that if they can slow down the entire team around him, who cares what Jokic puts up? Because as long as Jamal Murray and Michael Porter Jr. and Aaron Gordon and his team is not putting up points, there's a chance that they can actually go out there and win.
Hey, role players show out at home, and you didn't shout out your boy Landry Shamet, who came out of nowhere, who's been riding the bench, I feel like, all year long. He was huge tonight, 5 for 8 from deep. I just pulled up his basketball reference. Back in the day when he was on the Clippers, being from LA, I used to watch a lot of Clipper games. He used to be a good 3-point shooter, 45%. Now career 38%, career 40% from the field, so not too efficient. But man, it's about time. What's the name? Monty Williams unleashed some TJ Warren, Kade, some Terrence Ross. I mean, you guys were running like 6 men as Torrey Craig as your 6th man, or it was a Kogi or Payne, those first 2 games and you're getting blown out. And I was sitting back saying, man, no TJ Warren, no Terrence Ross at all. So it's nice to see, them to get some minutes. I know TJ Warren wasn't too involved tonight. Terrence Ross got some buckets, didn't look too good defensively. Picked up 3 bad fouls, I thought. I didn't get to watch the game too close. at work, but I'll go back and watch it for sure. So, man, for your Suns, it's pretty much do or die with KD and Book. But if you guys can get some production from Ross, TJ Warren, Shamit on the road, you guys definitely got a chance against this Nuggets team who pretty much just runs, a consistent five. They'll sprinkle in some Bruce Brown minutes, Jamichael Green getting some minutes, or Jeff Green, sorry, thinking about the Warriors, but Jeff Green, who's really not too much of a threat. It's pretty much just Bruce Brown off the bench. So I feel like that's your only shot. I mean, hey, real quick, Nat, Ishiba taking some flopping notes from Chris Paul. Kate, is that where he learned all that flopping? Was it Chris Paul?
Yeah, I think it was his time at Michigan State, but it's not
Oh,
too
yeah?
much of a stretch to say Chris Paul too. But yeah, I think no, I agree. I think the role players played a massive role in this these past two games. It's nice to see that Monty is actually starting to roll with the players that he knows is going to be able to get out there and get big points. I don't necessarily think that's Shaman. I think you're looking at guys like Terrence Ross. Campaign's now coming off he's starting now because Chris Paul is out with that growing soreness. But he can every once in a while put up some stats. Jock Landale getting some really good minutes, and at the 5, a guy that I'm honestly kind of surprised about that he's getting the minutes he is. I would expect Bismack to be getting a little more, but Jock's been locking down Jokic the best he can, considering you're talking about the 2-time MVP. But I just think actually, real quick, I'll also jump in and say this: DeAndre needs to step it up, without a doubt. DeAndre needs to step it up. Seeing the way this game started, I think he got like 3 or 4 offensive boards in the same possession. I thought that was going to be a very good indicator to see that he was going to actually go out there and do something. But man, I have not seen a guy who has been given such a big responsibility in defending a 2-time back-to-back MVP, and the amount of times he watches a player go right by him with the ball and put up an easy basket. It is ridiculous seeing what that guy does. And I respect Jock for going out there defending his teammate, being like, yeah, like, I don't like hearing the trash talk that people are giving DeAndre, but at the same time, you're the number 1 overall pick. You forced this team to sign an offer sheet for $133 million 4 years because you wanted to go to Indiana, which I completely understand. Go get your money, especially when you're looking at the max. And if Indiana's going to offer that, might as well try doing something to stay on a team that's a contender, but also go out there and make your money. Let the what's it called? The league pretty much determine what your salary is going to be. But just in general, you're talking about a guy that's getting paid so much. He was the number 1 overall pick for this team. He needs to step it up, without a doubt. I understand that Kevin Durant has a lot of minutes. I understand that D-Book has a lot of minutes. A lot of pressure is being put on them, and they are actually coming through and playing good basketball. We know DeAndre Ayton, what he can do, especially against the Nuggets. 2 years ago, DeAndre Ayton was locking down Jokic when he was an MVP, and he's not doing anything this season. He's watching balls go. It's ridiculous how this man is playing, despite how well people know he can actually play basketball. It's baffling to me. It doesn't make any sense. I mean, if you can get DeAndre going, the sky's the limit for this team if DeAndre can actually step it up and start playing basketball the way he needs to play basketball.
I mean, he's just soft, Kate. It's that simple from what I've seen. I mean, as soon as a Jock comes in the game, this dude's hustling. He's like fighting for his life out there, going for offensive boards, boxing outwards. And it's like he's going through the motion. And I'll throw this this idea I had. Kate, what if they start Jock and DA at the same time and go like super tall ball? And they go KD at the 3, DA at the 4, Jock at the 5. No Chris Paul. So you just have D-Book, and then you can either go like wing defender, D-Book run point, or KD run point. I was thinking about that, and I was like, I don't know. I feel like that might work.
I think the only thing that I don't know would really work about that is because, Jock's going to go out there and play good basketball, but I don't know if he's going to be able to really put up the minutes that you'd want him
to.
I think with campaign, especially with you're going to put Jamal Murray on Devin Booker. I think campaign, I don't know. I can't see that happening. Yeah, I just can't see it happening, especially with the
Because I
way
don't know.
Josh.
I just don't know if Da is cut to be a 5 or like a center, like
No,
just
I
bang
mean,
down low. You know what I mean? Like
well,
this
just
dude.
against a guy like Jokic, he's not able to. I think you take him to the next series, whether it's the Lakers or the Warriors, he's going to be able to play a little bit more of a dominant style of basketball. But I think he's just scared about the fact that this is a two-time MVP who has really scary brothers that are like straight out of what looks like the mafia. Like it's. He can step it up. We know what he can do. It's a possibility. He just doesn't do it. Going back to what I was saying, though, I'll leave it at this. Suns can win this series, but they have to win the next two. The next two are guaranteed. If they drop either game 5 or game 6, doesn't matter. Series is over. Denver takes it.
I still like Denver, Kate. I'm sorry. Have we seen a Michael Porter game yet? I'm pulling up.
Not yet.
We haven't really seen a Michael Porter game yet. I'm waiting for that to happen. I think that happens in game 5 at home. Jokic, I mean, this dude just dropped 50 and lost. He's going to be on a mission. But like I said, the only way I see the Suns taking this is if your role players show up big, and if they get the opportunity to show up big, because Kade and Book, I mean, they've been carrying the load, and we saw at Denver, Kade kind of struggle on the road. So which is surprising to see. So I think I still got the Nuggets in this series.
And I mean, I'll say that's doable. I think that's doable. I think if it comes down to Monty's play or decision making and coaching, like I said, I really like what Terrence Ross has been doing. I like what Landale's been doing. Rely on those guys heavily. You've got Bismack as a possible backup. Campaign's going to be in there until Chris Paul's back, which we don't know when that's going to be. If the Suns are able, my bad, if the Suns are able to get out of this series, it would probably be next series that you see Chris Paul back in action. Landry Shamet, great game, but that's not going to happen again in this postseason. Especially if it's a game in Denver, that it's just not going to happen. TJ Warren getting in the mix a little bit tonight. Again, really just a place filler when Kevin Durant needed a break. It comes down to it. It's not, I mean, role players are going to play a massive role, but at the same time, you're needing a lot more production out of, or Torrey Craig, throw him in there. He hasn't played much this postseason he hasn't played much the past 2 games, but yeah, I just think in general.
He had that big game 1 though. So it's like you just need, or what was it? Was it last series or it must?
No, that
have
was
been
last series when he was getting the starts. Yeah, it was last series. He'd been giving the start to Okogie, which I don't know. Torrey Craig was doing so good. It might just be because they're trying to go for a more offensive look. But even then, why take Torrey Craig out, especially when he's been playing as good as he has been? Yeah, I just don't like that. I think Suns can do it. I just don't know if it's really that possible. Even if the series is 2-2, they'd have to win the next game in Denver to make that happen. And I think it's doable. You go back to game 2. The Suns had that game until again it came down to the end when KCP was hitting big 3 after big 3. So it's very doable for this Suns team to go into Denver and win. It just making the adjustments necessary, relying on Monty's play calling ability and seeing what they can do. And then on top of that, making sure that D-Book and Kevin Durant still put up the same points they're able to. And I think that's not going to really change unless the altitude has something to say about it. So yeah, that's what I've got on that. I think Suns can do it. I just don't think it's necessarily a huge chance of it happening.
Fair enough.
All right. You want to switch it up? Let's hit fit of the week real quick. You good with that?
Let's do it.
All right. Hey, yeah, I think it's safe to say, semester's over. I think you might have to be taking the L on this one, but we'll figure out some punishment. Honestly, I like the jersey you were wearing before the show. Might have to just have you wear that and seeing how things go. But yeah, we'll keep it rolling though. Obviously, still basketball going on. We're not going to stop the fit of the week yet. Danny, I'll let you go first. Though, who'd you get?
I got this dude's been popping up, Kate. I think this is like sleeper pick for like one of the top just players in the league. That's Vando for the Lakers, who he hasn't been playing too hot as well as I've liked, but he's been showing out in the tunnels for sure. I picked out this fit because it's summertime, time to bust out not the jorts, but these are like I don't really know what they're called honestly, but I don't think they're sweatshorts, but
real quick, I hate to say it, that's Darius Baisley.
Oh no! I thought I picked Vando. All right.
Hey, current Sun though. So
happy. All right, Baisley. I guess I'm going with your boy Baisley. I don't know why I thought that was Vando for some reason. Vando is much darker than that. But I don't know. I just like how in the summertime it's pretty tough to layer fit. So head over to our IG, check out what that fit looks like. He's kind of layering like a denim shirt with I think that's just a wife beater and New Balance 550s. Pretty simple fit, but shows that even though the summer's around, you can still rock those layers that people love to rock in the winter time.
Yeah, no, I like it. Honestly, the shorts look it's the shorts below the knee. It's something that definitely fell off, but I think it can definitely
I kind of like
um
it.
it's something for sure. I'd have to get into it a little bit, but I think I can. I think a styles people can definitely pull off. You chose one of my sons. I'll choose one of your Lakers. I went with D'Angelo Russell. Going with the more monochrome look, the tan cream kind of top, button up, dark brown pants. Almost, I mean, those might be loafers if I'm looking at that kind of loafers, I guess. I don't know, but the tan loafers, brown bottoms, even going down to the socks, the cream socks. I mean, overall, great look. Again, just kind of going with the monochrome kind of feel to it, nothing too crazy with it. But again, something that works for around this time of the year. May still gets a little cool, but it's not too cool to be wearing all these heavy hoodies and whatnot. Something a little lighter, something a little bit more flowy. That's why I got. As usual, head over to Twitter, Instagram. Make sure you vote on that fit of the week. We're going to be keeping this going on throughout the postseason into the finals, and we'll probably end up making the last one of the season, the NBA draft, but we'll see how that goes. So, of course, on Instagram, vote on some point this week. We should keep up there. For the last thing, Danny, I'll be honest with you, I don't think I got too much to say about this stuff, but I mean, we'll have to see. But like I said, or as you said, it's warming up. We're finally getting into the summertime feel to it. But of course, that means a little bit more of a different style. It's at least in Phoenix, it's way too hot to be wearing some stuff that I'd be wearing at this time of the year, even if it is already early May. So I've got to go into the summer essentials, summer fashion essentials. Again, I feel like this year it's going to be a little bit harder to really determine what we're going to think of as essentials. I don't think there's really a set standard for what fashion is right now. But Danny, I mean, let's just get into it. What are some of the things you've seen that you think are really going to take off, and do you think are a necessity this summer?
This summer, hey, Kate, I think a necessity this summer is the jorts. I think the jorts over the knees are coming back. I've seen people been rocking that on TikTok lately. You can go with it looks really cool with high socks, sneakers, throw on a tee. I think the nylon basketball shorts, 6-inch inseams, those are always going to be cool. Those are always really easy to put together, but you can really dress up the shorts. You can dress them up, put on some docks, some loafers. You can, dress them down, get that flow, they're breathable. And I think the 11-inch inseams are coming back for the jorts, or like, the Carhartt, shorts, or I don't know what else they're called, honestly, but I think those are coming back. Those are definitely some essentials you need. Some more essentials I'll throw out, like I said, wife beaters are definitely a go-to. You can style those up or down. You can throw on a hoodie, then some shorts, so it's not too hot in there. Necklaces, bracelets, watches for sure, sunglasses too. Definitely gonna be needed some sunglasses in your your accessories for sure.
Yeah, I think sunglasses are probably the most common one, I think, without a doubt.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's something I've kind of picked up on. Is I know I definitely like, for me, like I only really used to wear sunglasses back when I had my car, I was driving around, I'd throw them on. But like recently, I feel like just being out more, doing more things, having sunglasses is a great thing to have. One thing that I'm also going to throw out there is just that, like the light button up, like throw over that you can maybe just like take out to the pool, long sleeve, short sleeve, doesn't matter. Just something nice, loose, easy to wear. Yeah, I feel like that's just great for the pool, just great for being outside. Keep it casual, keep it clean, but also just an overall good look without going too crazy. Now, obviously, of course, not talking about the what's it called? The like the nice like really weird patterns and whatnot, but like you see with like I don't know, like I think I saw one the other with bananas on it, like not stuff like that,
Nah, none of that
that's all
corny
dumb
shit.
stuff. Exactly,
Yeah.
nothing dumb like that, but definitely the just just something nice, light, easy to wear. I think that's a good look.
Well, some that I just picked up was from H&M. They got like a I know H&M fast fashion, it's really cheap and shitty, but they have like their long sleeve linens that are really
Yeah,
lightweight,
exactly.
super comfortable, white. They have like beige, so just summer colors. It was like $30, but not too expensive. And then they have linen pants, which I think next paycheck I'm gonna go back and cop some of those because those are lightweight. They're really cool. I don't know if you got any white pants, Cade, but I got like a white pair of Levi's, and those are pretty cool. But they're kind of thick though, so I want to get some linen pants. Some I don't got yet. Just expanding. Trying new things in my wardrobe.
Yeah, no, I definitely need to pick something up like that. Also, real quick, you brought up a good segment possibility for the future, but like I think with like a lot of fast fashion and whatnot, you look at stores like H&M, Uniqlo, all that. We got to talk about it like just some like along the lines of like just a segment pretty much talking about those fast fashion space or the fast fashion spots and pretty much what you can do with the fashion they've got available. But I agree. I do need to pick up something like that, especially just because I don't have I don't have many pants in general. Like I got the Carhartts, I got a few cargos, but like outside of that, I don't think I own a pair of jeans. I know I don't own a pair of jeans. Uh, Nothing like I need some variety. Like I'm at that point where like I have the time to start cleaning out my closet, like get rid of some of the stuff. I got a lot of black shorts and pants that I need to like mix up again, get some new stuff in there. But yeah, I mean, I think once I actually go through the process of cleaning stuff out, I'm definitely going to look because I haven't treated myself with any clothes either. I need something new, a little different. So yeah, I might have to try looking into that, doing something along the lines of actually trying to like get through the process of adding some new stuff to my collection, especially like something as you're talking about, those like linen pants or just white pants in general, something that's not black pants. But no, I agree. I think that's something that just a lightweight pants and like those are something that you can't go wrong with it. You can style it well. A lot of the times it's baggier, which is great because you can always go with the oversized t-shirt and it looks amazing. Yeah, so I definitely agree with that. I'm trying to think if I've got anything else. I think the only thing I've really got are maybe just like I've said watches in the past. I think this is the time of the year where you're wearing short sleeve shirts. Like getting the right style of watch is going to be something that's big, or just bracelets, stuff for your hands, stuff for your wrists, stuff where that attention is going to be on your hands. There's that. I mean, you're again short sleeve shirts. You're going to be having a lot more attention put onto your hands. So yeah, just anything with your hands, rings, bracelets, stuff like that, watches. That's going to be a good look. I'll also say this too, since it is summer, going with more of an accessory, but obviously, of course, you also got to throw the tote bag in there. I think the tote bag,
Ooh,
it's a way that you can always bring up or like over the shoulder bag, anything like that. Steps up your style. You don't really have to have much in there, but it definitely adds another level to your style, makes it look good. And of
definitely
course,
so much
again,
better than the What were those bags people were rocking?
the fanny packs, they're just
The
like
fanny
like
packs.
yeah. So here's my
I
thing.
back in the day, I had a couple fanny packs.
Well, I was
I'm
gonna
not
say
gonna
like
lie.
you've probably seen it. Like I've got my over the shoulder bag. Like it's a look. I think it's just like for me, like I only use it because I hate having stuff in my pocket. So if I'm going to the store, I don't.
I still rock mine once in a
Yeah.
while.
See. Oh yeah, the North Face. I mean, you can't go wrong with that. Like, hold on. Let me see if I can get mine off the hook. Jesus Christ. There we go. Like
Which one
yeah.
you
So
got?
like I like the Palace.
Oh.
Something simple, easy. Like I like it because like I just hate having stuff. I hate having shit in my pockets. Like it sucks. But um, having a bag like this, like it's just casual. It's easy. It's something simple. Don't have to worry about having things drop out of my pockets, anything like that. But the thing I do like about the what's it called? The like tote or the over the shoulder tote, whatever you want to call it. It's just an overall good look. It's a big enough piece to where you can like rock it well. It's a lot of space. You can put a lot in there. I always use mine for groceries and whatnot, but I also use it for anything that I really need it for. If I need it for beach towel, anything, like I will be using that way more than I'll be using any other bag. It's just comfortable. It's easy. It's nice. Shoot, I used it today when I went to work. It's a good look. So I'll throw that one in there just because I think that's another good one that I think is a good look in general.
Where you be copping your tote bags? You got a spot, kid?
No, honestly, all the ones I've gotten are free. Like I'll show
Oh,
you
okay.
mine.
Yeah.
Yeah, because like so for like example, this is my go-to. This was at an Earth Day thing on campus last year. Dude, clean. I mean,
Oh, that's a
like
pretty cool print actually.
yeah, exactly. Like simple and whatnot. Um, And this is kind of like my like more utility one. It's literally just a Chase Business bag. Like it's nothing crazy, but I mean it's got the zipper. It's a good material. It's durable. Um, so I use that here and there. I think this is my favorite one. Um, this one
Ooh,
is
that's
just like
cool.
that's a, and the nice thing too is that with the like UV lighting with the sun, like the like outer ring will glow. So like it like turns out like bread. So I think that I mean that's a cool one. I don't use it enough just because I feel like it doesn't go over my arm the way I want it to. But yeah, no, I mean I think with that one, like my roommate, he's got one from Architectural Digest that like I don't even know what he did to get it, but I mean, it's just a clean tote bag. It looks really good with whatever you're doing. And like, I mean, I think he just had to sign up for like a free subscription to their magazine and he got it. And that's like a free tote bag that looks good. I think the ones that like you can get just out for free pretty much are the best ones that you can probably go out there and get because I mean, a lot of them come with pretty good prints if it's coming from the right company and that's just a good look in general.
Facts. I need to get my hands on one. I have one from Urban Outfitters that was pretty cool, but I lost it when I was moving,
Mhm.
to apartments somehow.
That's rough. There's
Yeah.
some that I've seen that it's kind of like it's that same style where it's like the larger bag, but like it's an over the shoulder and it's almost just
Mhm.
like a looser bag. It's a weird design, but I like it a lot. I kind of want to pick up something like that. Like it's a longer look. Um, but yeah, kind of in that same vein as just like the tote bag. I think in general those look a lot better than honestly anything other type of bag that you can be really wearing this time of the year. So I gotta end mine with that one.
Fair enough. Yeah, I think we hit some good essentials.
Oh yeah, I agree. Dan, you got anything else to wrap up the show with? Any last
Yes, sir.
thoughts?
No, sir. Lakers about to
All
go up
right.
3-1 tomorrow.
We'll have to see about that. Not saying it can't happen, but we'll just have to see about that. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining 94 feet. Again, thank you for also going with us through that little break. We're finally back. We got the playoff basketball going, and it's going to be a fun next few weeks. So make sure you stick around for that. Hit us up on social media at 94 feet show, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, YouTube, all of it. And also make sure you vote for Fit of the Week on Twitter and Instagram later this week. And that pretty much wraps it up. Once again, thank you guys so much for joining us, and we'll see you next week.